Hi guys, this is Travis coming to you from the headquarters of MHF Enterprises Shooting Academy in Denison, Illinois. Today we're going to do a little talk on a subject related to our rimfire rifle matches. Now we're getting a lot of new shooters out, and I've been doing this a long time, so some of the things that are just normal for me is new information and things that some of the new people have never heard. So I thought I'd just do a little talk about how to do your dope cards to help you out during a match so you know what your drops are going to be, whether you're dialing or doing holds. Now, dope card, that means for data on previous engagements. And in the old days, we kept a logbook of every shot you did, what the temperatures were, any environmental things like the angle of the sun and direction of the wind, speed of the wind, things like that. And before a match, I would look back through all my old data entry points and find something that matched the atmospheric and environmental conditions I was going to go shoot in, and then I'd see how that affected my bullet and be able to figure what my drops are. Nowadays, things have gotten a lot easier with the ballistic calculators, and you no longer have to really keep the dope books like we used to. Everything's on our smartphones, and that's a great advantage. It makes things much easier. So there's a lot of different ballistic programs out. I personally like Applied Ballistics. I've got 3 or 4 different ones, but that's the one I continually go back to and the one I use the most. So anyway, what we're doing for setting up our stuff and how I go about it is when I get the course of fire, first thing I do is grab a notepad and I go through and I write down how many stages there are and the distances that there is on every stage. Then I get my phone out and I use the ballistic app and I figure what the drops are going to be for my rifle. Now, when you set up one of these ballistic applications on your phone, you've got to do some testing with your rifle and the ammo and make sure you have everything adjusted and calibrated correctly so that you know that when you're figuring on the ballistic app that it is actually correct data that's going to spit out. I've done that, so I know mine is dead on, so I know I can trust what it puts out. So anyway, I write down all my stages, the distances on the stages, then I go through and I write down the calculations on what it shows me for the drops or the holds that I'm going to use. Then the next thing I do, now I guess in the old days, when I would do this, when I first started using the apps, I would just take a paper like this and put it on the ground beside me when I shot. Back when we started doing sniper matches decades ago, everything was prone, so that worked pretty well unless it was a windy day. Nowadays, with the PRS style matches, we're constantly moving and doing all kinds of odd shooting positions, so there's no way you can just carry this paper with you and really be very effective with that. So I've got 2 different styles of how I carry the data that I just calculated. One, I went to Walmart and got just a real cheap, like a quarterback sleeve that you put on your arm like this, and I can just look at it and see what kind of data I need for that stage. And the other way is this little one here. It uses a smaller card and it has Velcro, and it just Velcros onto the rifle like this, and I can just glance at it while I'm shooting if I need to see what the next hold or dial is going to be on for the targets I'm engaging. So what I do after I have these calculations is I take an index card, and depending on which style of those holders I'm using, I use different sizes, and I just write down the stages and the drops and the distances for all the stages that we have. And then after I have them all written down, nice and large and very legible, and sometimes I have to use front and back, just depends on how many different distances there is per stage. What I've found is in the summertime, I sweat a lot, and I can actually sweat through and dissolve one of these from the sweat soaking the holder. Or if it rains, I've seen these things completely dissolve and the ink run on them. So I always take some clear packing tape and I cover all the sides of this with the clear packing tape. I can still see through it great, but it's resistant to rain and sweat. Those cards go right into the holders, just like that. And if I need to look down and see what I'm going to do or how I'm going to set my scope up for the next stage, it's all right there. If I forget a distance, I can look down and easily see what I need to do. Works out great. Highly recommend you get one of these systems to use on your rifle for the matches. It'll make things much easier and improve your scores. This is Travis coming to you from MHF Enterprises. Come out and shoot a match with us sometime. It is a ton of fun and you'll learn a lot and really improve your skill levels. See you soon.